Hi, everyone. I'd like to welcome you out to the webinar. It's Letting Go of Trauma, Part 2. And today I told everybody that we would have a live demonstration and showing you how you can take any event in your life that has been traumatizing to you and release it. I know that most of you know quite a bit about different ways of releasing trauma, but I thought it would be great to use one of the modalities that I love to do, which is tapping. I'm going to actually explain a whole lot at the end, but what I thought we could do is take the demonstration first. If you'd like to discuss it in any way, you're more than welcome to, and ask any questions at the end. So what we're doing with tapping is we're using the unconscious mind in the body to release different things that have happened to us. And what we found is when you release the actual emotional charge to anything that's happened to you, your mind will change it into something positive. And by doing that, you're actually able to create more of a life that you want. Because we all want certain things, but we find that there's blocks. And it's just because our unconscious mind is still finding those negative charges to things that happen to us and the beliefs and the patterns. So a client of mine is going to be actually working. She's given me a event that was traumatizing to her, and we're going to look at all the aspects of it. We're going to release it. And what I thought would be really nice is if you could all hear a little bit about her story. I've worked with her for a few sessions, so I know her background. I'm not going to do an intake like I normally would, because if I see somebody, I do a very extensive intake so I can help them in the best way. But we're going to work on one specific event, which is exactly what I told you guys we would do. And this is what you can do also to help yourself change the different things in your life, which are causing you problems. Or maybe it's that event you can't get over that happened even when you're a little girl. So Amber, how old were you when this happened?
23 or 24.
Okay. And so just for them, so can you help explain that a little bit, what happened? And yes.
Okay. Hi. So I had a very verbally abusive dad who liked to project all of his issues onto me. I was his favorite whipping post. And so this particular event, I had been married for a few years, living across the country, and hadn't lived with my dad in basically over a decade. And he called me to let me know that he was going to be going to jail for embezzling. He'd been caught. They'd caught $1 million. He had done more, but that's all they could prove. And so he was very proud of that. But he also decided that his life was ruined and that that was my fault. And he proceeded to vent on me, verbally abuse me for, I don't know, probably close to an hour, about how I had ruined his life. And me being here, being a part of his family, was a curse, and that I had sabotaged his marriage to my mother, and that I had sabotaged his second marriage with the affair he had had when he was married to my mother, and that although I was a grown adult living across the country, that him being caught for embezzlement was also my fault, because he wouldn't have had to embezzle if it wasn't for me, which wasn't true. He stole a lot of money from me, but he never gave any money to me ever. During the course of this event, he was just really, really rotten and proceeded to not only belittle me, but also my 2-year-old daughter, who he told me that he hoped would grow up to be a drug addict and prostitute, so that I could feel the same level of humiliation that he felt by when people found out that I existed and that I was his daughter.
Okay, so as you can tell, there's a whole lot to this phone call. And because there's a lot, we need to kind of address each piece of it. So what you're going to see is the different pieces that we need to address. So for one, he calls and is blaming her, not only for the embezzlement and getting caught, but she's ruined his life. It's her fault about his marriages. Being a part of the family is just a curse. And the little girl, the 2-year-old, is her daughter. He would like to have bad things happen to her as well. So as you can imagine, this is going to cause quite a bit of an intensity. And what we like to do is just start out with from 0 being nothing, 10, it's the highest. What would you say your intensity is, just as you told that story?
I probably got up to an 8.
Okay. And what do you think made it an 8?
It just feels really raw to say it out loud. These are things that I buried and exist in my life, and they're always in the background. But to give them voice, to acknowledge them, is it's embarrassing and makes me remember what a sense of failure that I get when I think of my dad.
Okay. And just a little bit of background, she has quite a few issues with her father, and it's really important to clean those up, and we'll discuss that at the end. So she has some embarrassment and the sense of failure, which we'll address. And then with tapping, we like to also break the trance with either being just funny or having them go to just a happy place in their mind, a place in nature, something they like, so that we can go in and out and break the trance as quickly as possible. We don't want anything to re-traumatize her. We just want to go in, clean it up, and let her have something that's more peaceful. All right, so, and as I've told everyone here before, this is not like a regular session, but it is a demo of how you can help yourself take an event, tap out the pieces to it, and change it in your mind, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say back to her the things that she said to me, just to amp it up a little bit, because what we have found, if she can get it as high as possible, which we'd like her to get it to a 10, it can collapse quicker, okay? So what I want you to do is just take a deep breath in and just close your eyes. And I'm going to say back to you some of the things that you said, because I want you to get stirred up as fast and high as you can. So your dad gives you a whole bunch of things when he makes this phone call to you. He tells you all kinds of reasons that it's your fault. It's your fault he's going to jail. It's your fault he embezzled. It's your fault he ruined his life. It's your fault that you were even part of his family. The curse, you're just a curse. The sabotage, you sabotaged both of his marriages. Even when he was having an affair, you sabotaged that marriage. And even all those things he said to your daughter. Now I want you to feel it for the last time. And imagine a tree in front of you. We're going to pull it out by its roots. What happens to a tree without roots? Okay, so I want you to count backwards for the first round as I go ahead and do just the things that we've done in the past, okay? I release and let go of all anger, abandonments, betrayals, helplessness, hopelessness, feelings of no control. I let go of all my rejections, all the failures, all the embarrassment, all the shame, all the guilt, everything he's ever said to me. I let it go. It's safe. It's time to let it go. Take a deep breath in. Peace. And just go to that peaceful place that you had yesterday. Just go there for a minute, the reasons why you liked it. Okay. We want to anchor in the peaceful things, so we're going to take a deep breath in. Peace. And she's repeating what I'm saying in her mind, okay? So now we're going to go ahead again, and I want you to count backwards from 300 by threes for the next round, okay? I release and let go of all the ways my dad said what he said, the things I've listened to for so long, going to jail, the embezzlements, ruining my life, all the things he told me, all the things I saw, everything that he made me do, everything that he accused me of, everything he accused me of with his wives. I let this all go. I release and let go of everything he said to me, including what he said about my daughter. Deep breath in. Peace. Okay, so I'm going to have you just go back and check. Is there something that came up for you?
Shame. A lot of shame that I wasn't who he wanted me to be, that I wasn't good enough for him.
All right, so notice that. Okay, I release the shame, not being good enough, and everything else he always accused me of. It's always my fault. I let it go. And while sometimes people like to say it out loud, and that's fine too, but for this purpose, she's just going to keep it inside. Each round, I want to check what her unconscious mind has brought up, because I'm not the one in control. She is. And I want her to tell me what her unconscious mind is doing to help her release this.
I feel hurt that he can't let me leave, can't let me have my own life. He can't let me succeed. He wants to make sure that that every opportunity he tears down what he can.
I always let go of all the ways he's torn me down, all the things that I saw him do growing up, all the ways he beat me up with all of his words, all the abuse, all the things that I can't do. I can't leave. He'll never let me go. I always have to do what he does. All those words accusing me, the failure. I let it go. So let me just go to that happy place that you have in your mind. Make it really strong. Whatever gives you there. Keep breathing. Peace. Okay, so I want you to imagine your father making this phone call to you. And he says what he says. What happens?
I feel strong. Like I can be there for him. He doesn't know how to exist happily. He doesn't know how, and he needed help venting to get rid of his anger. And I can be that gift for him. I can take it and not let it.
And is this coming from the 23-year-old?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you were just kind of imagine what their faces might look like, even if you can't see it, just make it up. What do you think the expressions on both of their faces are with this phone call?
He has a lot of hatred.
Okay. And what about you?
Blank face.
Okay, so just to let you know, so when you're tapping, you'll understand that every memory you have that has people other than yourself involved, you must change how the other person is doing as well, because it's everything in your mind is really you. So we have to change his hatred. So that's really important. And if you ever tap and get to a place that you're just at a blank, it's just a blank face, your unconscious mind is definitely not done. And if you ever get to a point and say, oh, I'm okay, I'm fine, you're still not done. Because until your unconscious mind has made it a happy, positive memory in every way, your unconscious mind has links to it that it will pull from. So we don't want that left. Okay, so I want you to go back. Just notice what's left, okay? I always let go of his hatred, my hatred, all the hatred inside of me, all of his hatred, all the ways that he has ruined my life, all the ways he's blamed me, my fault, all of the ways that he blamed me for his marriages failing, all the ways he blamed me for cursing his family. I release and let it go. All the things he said, all the things I was feeling, everything that I felt back there, the shame, the guilt, the hatred, I let it go. Deep breath in. And if you don't have a happy place to break your trance, I can just do something. You can do something to yourself. Just look around, break your trance. Or I can just say, do you have like really purple shoes on?
No.
You don't have purple shoes? You don't like purple?
Not today.
No? Okay, so it could be just something like that. All right, so your dad, he makes this phone call. And you know what, Amber? He's done this your whole life. He has blamed you for everything that's ever went wrong. He even blamed your little girl, just 2 years old. I want you to go there for a minute. When he talks about your 2-year-old, what's there?
I hate him for that.
Okay, notice that. I release that hate. All the hate for him for what he said with my little girl, what he said about my little girl, the things he said to me. I let it go. I release that hate. Deep breath in. Please. Okay, so go back and check again. The little girl, she's 2 years old. It's your daughter, and he's doing the same stuff to her. He says it to you. You got it? Okay. All the things that he has said to me, this made me feel so much shame, so much hurt. Like he doesn't want me to succeed. He won't let me. I let it go. You're doing good. You want to open your eyes, look around for a minute. Well, I think purple shoes would look really good on you. Okay, let's go back. Okay, so the little girl, she's your daughter, and he's saying these things on the phone, blaming you. Where's the hate at 0 to 10?
5.
I release and let go of this 5. Everything that it's involved, everything that I found, everything I've stored, everything I've kept inside, that hatred, that anger, all the resentments, the guilt, the shame, and everything else he's put on me, the embarrassment, that sense of failure I've had my whole life. I'm letting it go. Deep breath in. And the reason why this is really important is to say back to her what she has said to me, and not put my own words in it, because it won't resonate with her. And so what she says does resonate. And because I've worked with her a few times, I have a little bit of information. So occasionally I might add just a little bit of that. But it's just still her stuff. Okay, so let's go back again.
Feel betrayed. Like I should have been given better. I should have had a dad who loved me and wanted me and would fight to protect me instead of fight to hurt.
Okay. I wish he would have protected me. I wish he would have fought for me. All the times he didn't protect me. All the times he wouldn't fight for me. I let this all go. All the times he wouldn't fight for me. I let it go. Peace. And as you notice that little girl inside of you, that he didn't protect, that he didn't fight for, and if you just imagine her being in front of you, what would you notice with her?
She looks so broken, so small.
All right, so when I'm tapping on you, can you tap on her in your mind? I release and let go of this feeling of brokenness, of being so small. I let it go. It's time to let go of the ways that I felt so small, so unprotected. Nobody to fight for me, nobody to help me. I let it go. Okay, so I want you to go ahead and go back again. That little girl that's you in front of you. What's she feeling?
Scared.
Why? I release that scared feeling. I'm so scared, so alone, no one there. Dad won't protect me. He's the one fighting against me, always trying to break me, telling me how I'm never going to succeed, and I was going to fail. I release and let this all go. I let go of Dad's words. In my mind that I play over and over again. I let go of the way he says what he says. I let go of the tonality of it. I let go of his face as I see him say it. I let go of how it feels deep inside of me. I let it go. So, how old's your daughter now? She's like 10, 12. She's doing pretty good.
She's good.
Okay. All right, so let's go back and check again the little girl in you. But this time, I want you to go back as the adult that you are, with the wisdom that you have from just being a mother yourself. And I want you to go back to that little girl, and I want you to give her what she needs right now. Give her some wisdom that you know could help her, that nobody would give her back then. Just do it in your mind and let me know when you're done. Just give her something that she truly needs. So let's go ahead and tap on her. Does she feel better from what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And does she believe you?
Yeah.
And is it okay for her to have you be by her still?
Yes.
Okay. So she's got you and she's not alone. Does that feel good to her?
Yes.
Okay. So what's still left with her then?
She's glowing. She's happy.
Yeah, and she's happy because she has you, or what's making her happy?
Because she knows that she is a daughter of God. And that He loves her.
Okay, great. Okay. She does know who she is. She didn't back then, but now she does. I know who I am, and no matter what my father says to me, I can always remember who I am. Nobody can take that from me, including my father, and I let that go. So, what's happening inside?
She's happy. She's skipping. She's not scared anymore. Well, everything's going to be okay.
And if she were to hold on to you, would that be okay?
She doesn't need me.
She's okay? Okay, good. All right, great. So what I want you to do now is just go back up to the 23-year-old where she has that same knowledge, that same skipping in her heart, knowing who she is, feeling stronger.
Still angry.
And how, from 0 to 10, how angry is she?
Like a 7. She's getting more mad.
Okay. All right.
She's a mom now and she knows he should have done better.
Okay, notice that. I release the anger, that place inside of me that I hold this anger, the resentments, how I made my body sick with it. I release and let it go. All the ways I've gotten sick because of my anger, my resentments, my hatred, I let it all go. Okay? So how's it going?
This is work.
You're going to feel so good when it's over.
I know. I feel in general so much better. Lighter and happier. It's just,
You're doing great because these things are painful. And so but you're doing good to work through it. So thank you for showing up and doing this. Okay, so you're 23. How angry are you still?
but too more disappointed than
Okay. So what's really important to see here is how her emotions keep changing. And that's because the unconscious mind has attached many different emotions to this event. And it also triggered her child within from younger things that her father did. And that's often the case. So we're going to go ahead and tap on her anger and disappointment. I release and let go of all the anger, the hurt, the disappointment, and everything else that I've had for so long. I release and let go of the resentment, the hatred, the anger, disappointment, the shame, and everything else that made me feel so broken and so small, like I'm not good enough. All the shame, I let it go. You ruined my life. It's my fault. I let it go. All the ways he's made it my fault. Keep breath in. So the 23-year-old, where's she at now?
sad compassion for him. That this is his life. That he has no joy, no peace in his own life.
Okay, I want you to notice the sadness. We're going to tap on that, and then we're going to do something. I release the sadness in me, the sadness in him. All the things that he's blamed me for, the things he said about my daughter, I'm letting it all go. I release his sadness. It's not my sadness to carry, and it's time to let it go. Breath in. So where are you at now?
His compassion.
So I want you to trade places with your father. And what is it like to be your father when he's making this phone call to you?
There's a lot of shame and guilt that he's perpetuating the hate that he got. instead of sharing love.
I want you to notice that. I'm releasing the shame, the guilt, and all the ways my dad perpetuated his hate, his anger, his hurt onto me. And all the ways that he felt like he was a failure putting it onto me. I release and let that all go. Deep breath in. Just go ahead and open your eyes, look around for a minute. Okay, so your dad, you're still traded places with him. He's on his phone call to you.
He has gratitude.
And I won't hold it against him. So, Amber, what's going on with you towards him?
I feel cut. Like I'm not giving him power anymore. We're not tied together. We're separate. And he has his journey and I have mine, but his isn't affecting mine anymore. My life is my own.
Okay, and now I want you just to notice everything that you just said, okay? I release and let go of Dad's guilt and his shame and all the ways that he put that on me my whole life. That hatred of his, all the things that Dad did, putting it on me, I let it go. And as I do, I begin to see a brand new life, seeing this life between us cut. I can feel gratitude for the things that I've learned, but he doesn't have power over my life anymore. We can have separate lives, me feeling great about me, confident and strong, feeling so good, seeing myself step into my own power, so strong, so confident, knowing what I can do, doing it, so that my little girl can see a strong, powerful, empowered woman who's loving and kind to her. And I let go of all the things that my dad told me, said to me, made me feel, and all the ways I saw it. I let it go. And so what came up inside?
A very powerful stream of sunlight. Like there's no more dark places. There's no more hidden hurts. There's just new life.
So even notice that inside. And I want you to make it even stronger. That light, that powerful light in every place inside of you. And allowing that to just grow and let every age of you know this new, powerful light. There's no more darkness. And as you recognize that inside, I release and let go of all the other things that has held me back in my life. The phone call, all the things he said to me that made me feel so bad. I'm letting it go. Stepping into who I truly am, who I believe I am, who I know I am. It's time to be who I truly am and let go of what Dad told me I was and let that all go. So just go back again and how's everything? Tell me what's happening.
Good. I'm feeling strong and free and still a little bit of sadness for his life, but it's not.
Well, so basically with this, we need to go ahead and get rid of the sadness. If this was a regular session, what I do is I also have a list of the positive things that she wants to have in her life and be, and then I intertwine those. So we're going to go ahead and tap on the sadness because it has to be completely positive for it to be like a changed, flipped memory. I release the sadness for Dad, the life that he's lived, the way he ruined his life, the way that he embezzled, the way he went to jail. And let go of the sadness for all of it, all the things Dad did that blame me for. I can let it go back on him, taking my own power back, being free and strong. Okay, is there any sadness left?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'd like you to do is take this memory, the whole phone call, and I want you to run it through in your mind as a memory, as a movie. And can you find anything that bothers you? Even if it's the tiniest of little thing.
The fact that he even thought to call me, but we hadn't talked in months, and he was hurting, and first thing he wanted to do was hurt me back. He needed to feel better, and I was his fix.
All the ways I've been Dad's fix. All the ways he's taken it out on me to make himself feel better. All the years of my life, even up to 23. All the ways, even later, the things that he has said to get his fix to feel better. He just needs to hurt me and then he's all better. I let that all go. Peace. So how do you feel when your dad needs to get his fix and make you feel bad?
Like, eat some chocolate like the rest of us.
Okay, all right. It's time for me to just let go of what Dad needs to do. The ways that he's hurt me, I let go of all the ways he's hurt me. I let go of that he needed to use me as his fix. I let go of all the ways Dad's hurt me. The sound of his voice in my head, telling me the same thing over and over until I failed. I let it go. Peace. Okay. So your dad has been very used to calling you, telling you you're to blame. He gets his fix. He feels better.
Okay, I'm safe for him.
So it's really important to keep giving it back to the person or to keep bringing it up inside of you to test it, because the more you test it, you can be sure that it's really changing. Because when I do that, she has still had things come up. So it seems like there might be still a little bit there. Just the look on your face.
Oh,
Okay.
he's never gonna let me go. You're trying so hard.
All right. I let go of that belief. He's never going to let me go. Dad doesn't have a hold of me, but I've let him have it in my mind. I've let him take the space in my mind, making me believe he does have a hold on me. And it's time to let go of Dad and all the things he's said, because I am free. I'm strong, and it's time to let that freedom become the biggest part of me, knowing that I am free. I'm safe. I have my own family. I have a loving husband. I have children that I can do something different with, that I can show them what it feels like to be loved. So I let go of Dad and all of his things. So do you like red shoes? Are those better for what you like? Or
I do like red.
yeah, red would look good, I think. Okay. And even though that's a stupid question, that's the whole point. It's just stupid to get their, to break the trance. Hopefully she doesn't smack me later for the stupid questions, but okay, so let's go back and check again.
I really want to be able to tell you I'm fine. I'm still hurt.
But you know what? This isn't about me. This is about us getting this memory for you, okay? Now, I know that you have other events that we still have to clear up about Dad, so I don't want you to go to them. Well, I just want you to stay focused in this memory alone.
I'm still hurt. I still can't believe he would call. But
Okay.
That's how he wants to spend time with me.
Okay. I release and let go of the call. The way Dad said what he said, the tonality, how I saw it, how I felt it. I let go of listening to this over in my mind for all these years, putting myself down, believing what Dad says, that I'm the failure, I'm the blame, all the ways he's got to get his fix. This is how he relates to me, putting me down, and I let that go. It's no longer needed to take those phone calls, to have Dad in my life or in my mind. I let it go. Peace. So for a minute, I want you to imagine just stepping into the way you'd really like to feel. Just stepping into that for a moment, however you know you can do it. Do you see it, you feel it, you hear it? stepping in to your power, what it feels like to be strong and free, safe, secure, knowing that you can do this differently. Whatever else you want to feel, just step into it, what it feels like to feel it. And when you're done, I want you to step back out of it. Come back now and look at the memory. So what's left with the memory?
Indifference.
Okay. I let go of whatever the meaning behind this is for me. The indifference. I don't care. The hurt, all the past shame and the guilt, the ways that I couldn't ever get rid of him. Always in my head, making me more angry and having more hate, and all the memories of Dad accusing me, blaming me, making it my fault. I let go of the hurt, the sense of hatred, the embarrassment. I let go of all the things that he said to me, cutting me. I let it go.
Really, now the fatherings I just gone into.
Well, let's say that you did. Okay, and Dad calls, and you go through this again as a movie. He makes this phone call to you, and he says all this stuff, especially the part about your little girl.
I interrupt. I don't let him talk. I tell him nice things about play dates and pretty flowers and pretty sunsets, and I tell him happy things until he gets up and leaves.
And what's the emotion of all that? And I want you just to make up the expression of you and your father at this point.
I don't know what to call it. I feel like I want to blast him with sunshine. Like just.
Okay, do it. So just imagine blasting him with sunshine before he makes the phone call. So that when he has called you and starts to talk,
That helps.
Okay.
He just wants to say hi and see how the kids are.
And what does it feel like to have your dad just care about your kids?
It makes me really happy.
Because if your dad could, he would. If he didn't have all of his woundedness, he really would be that dad that you wished he would have been. But because he can't give that to you, I just want to make sure for the little girl. Let's see. How does she feel?
Sad for him that he missed out on so much.
I release let go of all the sadness, the deep sadness, all the sadness for Dad, all the ways he lived his life, all the choices he made. But I'm free of those choices. They aren't mine. And because they're not mine, I don't have to live them anymore. They're not mine to live. I give them back to my Father where they belong. And I get to have my own choices, my own mistakes, my own life, my own journey. It's time to take my own journey, my own life without my Father. Keep with him. Peace. Okay, so you're at that beautiful place that you love. Let's go to that happy place that you enjoy. Peace, whatever else you feel there. Okay, so when you go back, Dad made this phone call to you. And I am like testing because I have to make sure it's flipped. So
It's a happy call.
it's a happy call. What's the expression on both your faces?
Smiles.
How does it feel inside to you?
Light.
So I'm going to have you do this one more time, and then we're going to be done. Okay? I want you to run it through again as a movie, and just make sure that there's nothing that bothers you,
I
especially.
remember to blast in the sunshine first.
Okay, blasted with sunshine first. But I want you to make sure that it doesn't bother you about the little girl. That's yours, what he said. Anything else in that whole thing?
No. She knows that if we have sunshine today, he would get it. And that one day he'll have all the sunshine. No, I'm not allowed to say it's fine. She knows that the Savior will heal this hurt. And it's between them.
Okay. And do you need to take on anything of Dad's anymore? Because after all, he has accused you of being a failure and it's all your fault. Is there any part of you that believes that right now for this memory alone? Okay. All right. Thank you, Amber. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So that's basically what taking a memory and flipping it. I was probably, going a little over, but I just wanted to make sure that we had gotten every aspect of it because there was many. And as you saw, it also went back to the little girl that got triggered by what her father had done in the past. So I was hoping that would explain a lot as we went, but if anybody has any questions, I can answer them. But the main thing is what we're trying to do here is if you have a memory that bothers you, you're going to want to tap on everything in the memory. And that means every person in the memory. So she had to also tap on the emotions she saw with her father. So that's really important because if you say, oh, you know what, I'm happy in the memory, but 3 people in the memory are like really angry. Well, I can tell you that memory is no way being changed all the way or flipped. So when you're working on yourself, make sure everybody's happy in the memory, that it feels good. Double check it a couple times. Run it through your mind. See if there's anything that can bother you. And if it can't, it feels good, that you've got smiles, it's positive, then that's what we call a flip. And that's really the goal. And so what happens is when you take all these memories that are negative and we make like what we call a little piece list and we just give titles to each of the events. We take those events, we change them into something positive, and we go on to the next one. And so I can just give like an example of what happened with me is, so I had went through a lot of years of talk therapy and it had its place and it did help. But what happened to really make some big changes in me is when I actually started to change the unconscious mind at a very deep level of releasing the emotional charge to all the events. And so what happened was, and it's very interesting to me, to even to this day, is I took all these different traumas that I had and I started to flip them and change them, and things started to change in areas I was not even working on. I wasn't even thinking about. But I think the ultimate reward for me, I think, in all of the tapping is my relationships got better with everyone. And I actually started getting some close friends. I actually started having a business that I never dreamed possible. And I have feelings of things. I know this might sound strange and maybe it won't to you, but I know when I began this, I didn't have a lot of feelings of love for myself or like for myself. And it took me a while. It really did. And to connect with that inner child in me to start to have compassion and love for myself. And, sometimes we don't have that love and that compassion for our own selves, especially those ages of me that maybe went through traumatic events. You might even be angry at them. You might have like feelings like, oh, I don't want to get close at all because of all that. You've got too much pain, but it's all inside of you. And until you change that, it's really hard to change life at a conscious level, because the conscious mind really isn't the problem. It's the unconscious mind that is creating the problem. So if you don't work with who's creating the problem, it's really hard to change. And we've said this over and over with the law of attraction. It's great, the intention, and that does have power. But if you have a lot of negative feelings inside or events that tell you don't deserve that, well, the unconscious mind is going to win. So change what's inside of you. And when you do that, your life does begin to change in amazing ways. And I have a client that actually I just wanted to share a couple things about. Well, not share about, but she's brought a few things up for me. And it's thanks, Amber. So it's brought up a couple, thank you so much, appreciate it. So it's brought up a couple things for me is that she created this one specific person, created a very specific illness. And in this illness, it actually would consciously, we would say there's no way that we would create this kind of thing like MS or this kind of problem. And I have several clients that have different illnesses. But the thing is what I keep learning, and it just blows me away, is that the unconscious mind, even though we would consciously pick any kind of illness or disease or problem for ourselves, if our unconscious mind thinks that we need to be safe and kept safe, and it will put 2 and 2 together and often come up with 5. And that seems like it's a safe way to keep us, protected. And that is what we want to get in and start to change. So that the unconscious mind has something new, a new perspective, new beliefs, and new patterns. So really that's the whole point of what we're doing here with tapping. And because our mind is so, we have the ability to rewire our mind and what's happened to us. There's no reason why any of us really need to stay in the crap of the past or let it control our life. So thank you for joining me today. If anybody has any questions, you're more than welcome to ask. If not, I appreciate you being here today. So does anybody have anything? Okay, well, thanks again, guys, and we'll see you next time. Take care.